Hi, friends. My name is Toni Cureton. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Life Skills FYI. Life Skills FYI provides a set of core adult capabilities to manage work, family, and relationships successfully. It's designed to help build the skills adults need for life. Life Skills FYI teaches skills of planning, training, awareness, focus, self-control, and flexibility. They are daily living skills to promote successful, independent living, skills that every adult should know, but were never taught in school. Life Skills FYI premieres on Thursdays at 10 a.m. on our My Virtual Academy Facebook page and on Instagram. Today, we are going to talk about how to apologize. So, do you owe someone an apology? Is there someone in your life that you need to say, I'm sorry to? We all make mistakes and sometimes hurt people through our behavior, our words, our actions, and sometimes it's intentional and sometimes it's by accident. That's why everyone, all of us, need to know how to apologize. Apologizing can be intimidating, and it isn't the easiest thing to say when you have to say you're sorry to someone. But it is the best way to restore trust when you've done something wrong. And it is the first step to rebuilding relationships. Today, we will explore why apologies are so important. We will also look at how to say sorry for a mistake that you've made and discover the keys on how to make things right. What is an apology? An apology is a statement with two key elements. First, it shows that you feel remorse over your actions. And second, it acknowledges the hurt your action caused to someone else. Why apologize? Sincere apologies help to rebuild relationships with people you've hurt. That could be colleagues, that could be clients, friends, or family members. By owning up to your mistakes, you open a dialogue with the other person. That way, you can reflect and take responsibility for your actions, and they can process their feelings and restore their dignity and avoid blaming themselves for what happened. Apologizing can help create the opportunity for you to demonstrate better behavior in the future. Maintain your self-respect, and restore your integrity in the eyes of other people. Your apology may not be accepted right away all the time, but you'll likely feel relieved that you know you've done the right thing and tried to make amends for your mistakes. The consequences of not apologizing. What happens if you don't apologize for your mistakes? Well, you could damage your relationships. You could harm your reputation and even limit your career opportunities. After all, no one wants to work with someone who can't take responsibility for their own actions. If you're a manager or team leader refusing to apologize, this also has a negative effect with your team, and it sets a bad example. It could result in animosity, tension, pain, and can cause a toxic work environment. Why are apologies difficult? So, for some people, they avoid saying I'm sorry because it takes courage, after all, to be able to do that. It puts you in a vulnerable position, leaving you open to attack or blame. And some people struggle to be in this position, and they struggle to be that brave. Or you may be so full of shame and embarrassment over your actions that you can't bring yourself to face that other person. You may even feel under pressure to apologize when you've not done or said anything wrong. While unfair criticism can happen, it's important to reflect on why the other person feels aggrieved. You may be missing something that does require an apology or may lead to reconciliation. Here is how to properly apologize. 4 simple steps. The first one is to express remorse for your mistake. Secondly, you have to admit responsibility. Third, you have to make amends. And fourth, you have to promise that the behavior won't happen again. So let's take a look at each one of these individually. Number 1, how to show remorse for a mistake. Every apology should start with 2 magic words: I'm sorry or I apologize. For example, you could say, I'm sorry that I snapped at you yesterday. I feel embarrassed and ashamed by the way I acted. Your words need to be sincere and authentic. Be honest with yourself and with other people and the other person about why you want to apologize. Never make an apology when you have an ulterior motive. Don't be disingenuous. Don't give an apology just so that you can get your way in whatever situation that takes place. Genuinely, from the heart, own your mistake and apologize for it. Number 2, admitting responsibility. When apologizing, it's tempting to explain your actions, but these can be perceived as excuses and trying to shift the blame. For example, I'm sorry that I snapped at you when you came to my office yesterday. I had a lot on my plate. In this case, you excuse your behavior because of stress, and you imply that the other person was at fault because they bothered you on a busy day. Instead, admit responsibility for your actions or your behavior and acknowledge what you did. You need to empathize with the person who you wronged and show that you understand how you made them feel. Say this instead. Say, I know that I hurt your feelings yesterday when I snapped at you. I'm sure this embarrassed you, especially since everyone else on the team was there to witness it. I was wrong to treat you like that. That's a better way of doing it. Number 3, words that you can use to make amends with someone who you've hurt. You can make amends when you take action to make the situation right. Here are 2 examples. If there's anything that I can do to make this up to you, please just ask me. Or you can say, I realize that I was wrong to doubt your ability to chair our staff meeting. I'd like you to take the lead through tomorrow's meeting and demonstrate your skills. Think carefully about this last step, because token gestures or empty promises will do more harm to the relationship than it'll do good. Because you feel guilty, you might be tempted to give more than what is appropriate. So be proportionate in what you offer. Think about what's fair and equitable in the situation. Don't just do things because you feel bad and guilty. Number 4, how to promise it won't happen again. You need to reassure the other person that you're going to change your behavior. This is vital for rebuilding that trust and repairing the relationship. You could say things like, from now on, I'm going to manage my stress better so that I don't snap at you or anybody else. And then you'll say, if you find me being short or abrupt, call me out on it and let me know so that I can assess and make changes. But when you do this, make sure that you honor your promise to prove your trustworthiness and accountability. Don't just say, oh, if you catch me doing something, call me out. And then when they do, you don't work to actively change it. Or don't promise that you're going to change if you're not going to actively put forth efforts to doing so. Here's some final tips. If you're worried that your apology won't come off right, write it down. Write down what you want to say and then role play it with a friend or a family member or in the mirror, and make sure that you don't practice so much so that your apology comes off as being rehearsed or staged, and more importantly, insincere. It's always better to apologize face to face than to say you're sorry in a text or in a letter or an email. Apologizing in person lets you show your sincerity with the nonverbal cues of your body, such as your facial expression, or the tone of your voice or your body language. Also, don't offer excuses when you apologize. Just say, hey, I'm sorry I did that. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings when I said that those shoes were ugly. Own up to it. Otherwise, you'll sound as if you're trying to shift blame. You're trying to make excuses for what took place, instead of you saying, dang, what I said was really inappropriate, and that's my bad. I'm sorry. Make sure that it's heartfelt. It comes from the heart, and that you are sincere, because this is what you would want to receive if someone hurts, your feelings or offends you in any way. So your key takeaways from this is this. An apology is a statement of remorse that you make when you've done something wrong. When you offend someone, when you hurt someone's feelings, you owe them an apology. Don't blow it off. Don't say, oh, it's no big deal. It is a big deal to that person. And maybe you're the kind of person that you don't offend so easily, but you do take offense sometimes, and that hurts. So when you are in a situation where you hurt someone's feelings, be quick. The quicker you do it, the easier it is. The longer you wait to say it, the harder it becomes, because resentment builds up on that other person's end. Also, too, you have to remember, you should never get to a point where you think it's unnecessary to have to apologize. You're human. We're all humans. So the quicker you do it, sincerely from the heart, the better it will be received by the person. I know it's difficult to apologize, but saying I'm sorry can do a lot to preserve and mend your relationships with people. If you are constantly offending people and you don't say I'm sorry, you're going to find yourself in a position where there are going to be people who don't want to be around you, because people get tired of their feelings getting hurt. Also, again, key takeaways. If you have to apologize to anybody, express your remorse. Show how sorry you are for what you did or what you said. Admit your responsibility. Don't make excuses. Don't shift blame. Take responsibility. My bad. I did it, and I'm sorry. And make amends. Ask them, is there anything I can do to make this up? and then promise and work on, can't emphasize that enough, promise that it won't happen again, and actively work to make sure that you're sensitive to other people around you. Because again, if you become insensitive to other people's feelings, you will find yourself where in a position where people are not wanting to be around you a lot because you're insensitive. Well, friends, that's all my time for today. Thanks so much for tuning in to Life Skills FYI. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out. My number is 586-842-0558. That's 586-842-0558. Thanks so much. Again, my name is Toni Cureton, and thank you for tuning in to Life Skills FYI. And always remember to adult responsibly.